We have more huge breaking news in the NHL. The Montreal Canadiens have gone out and traded for a center to replace the newly offer-sheeted member of the Hurricanes, Jesperi Kotkaniemi. They've acquired Dvorak. We'll discuss this trade coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some more huge breaking news. We in the last video talking about the Kotkaniemi offer sheet not being matched, so he's now officially gone to Carolina on that one-year deal at $6.1 million. We said that the Habs likely have to complete a trade because that left their center position very much depleted after losing him and Phillip Danault in free agency. That only leaves Nick Suzuki and Jake Evans, which is pretty thin down the middle. Getting somebody who can play that middle six role as a center, ideally a solid number two, would be the most ideal. So they've gone and acquired Dvorak, who is a player we've talked about on a couple of occasions here on the channel regarding players that would make sense for them to target, that was mentioned in the rumor mill by NHL insiders to kind of fill the hole here that they've left by losing Danault and Kotkaniemi. So now, obviously, going back the other way is the first-round pick in 2022 and a second-round pick in 2024. So they got a first and a third from Carolina, and then they move a first and a second, but the second is obviously a couple years out. So Arizona continues to stockpile draft picks here. That'll give them 3 first-round picks in next year's draft, including their own and the Avalanche, and now they have the Habs as well. So, but there's also a condition on the first-round pick. How it's going to work is whichever pick is lower is what they're going to end up getting here. And if both the Carolina pick and the Montreal pick are top 10, they get the lower of the two. Otherwise, it's going to be, I believe it's the lower of the two regardless. So regardless here, they're getting a first rounder. Montreal and Carolina, it's hard to say how they're going to compare in the standings for draft order, but it still gives them a good option here as the number 2 center going into the season. I mean, Dvorak's a guy who can be a good checking center. He's only 25 years old, American-born, drafted in the second round in 2014. So he's 25 and he's under contract for another 4 seasons. So counting this year, 4 seasons. He had no trade protection this year or next. The final 2 years of his deal, he has a modified no trade, where he has 8 teams that he can block. And playing on a Coyotes team that hasn't had a ton of success. He's been putting up 17, 18 goals the past couple of years, and 17 goals last year came in a 56-game campaign. So that would theoretically project him to be, 20-plus goals, around 40-ish points, which is kind of what you're looking for. Ideally, maybe a few more on the points on the assist side especially, but we'll see how he gels with this Canadiens roster and how much of a good fit he can be. But to me, out of all the options, this one does make a lot of sense. He's a little bit older than Kotkaniemi, a little bit more established. You have good stability for cap purposes for the next 4 years as well. It is an expensive price, a first and a second rounder, but with the amount of draft currency they have, I guess you can kind of take that chance. But as I said in the video earlier, I think the Habs really botched that 2018 draft. They had a lottery pick that they were very lucky to win. They take Kotkaniemi and set up some other options that at this point in their careers have proven to be better options. And now they lose him after his entry-level deal to the Hurricanes in an offer sheet scenario. So it really wastes that draft lottery pick that they were lucky to win. So I guess we'll see what happens, and if Dvorak's going to be a good fit here down the road. But it's one of the better options they had on the trade market here today without really swinging for the fences and going for a guy like Eichel or something more substantial. Like I said, as much as they could put together some intriguing packages for the Sabres, Buffalo would have been looking for Caulfield or Suzuki or Romanov or one of those guys would have to be in there, multiple first rounders, and it's just a steep price to pay for a player that you don't even know what his future holds because of his health and the issues and the surgery he wants to have and all that. So to me, this was the better move, but we will see. Does it make them better, or is this more of a lateral move? They theoretically are better versus just having Kotkaniemi, I think, but having Danault not there, overall, that position compared to last year, after a long time of having not much depth, they finally built it up, and now that depth is gone, and it's kind of back, but it's different. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Is the Habs better at center than they were last year? Are they worse? What do you think of this trade? Give me your comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, rumors, and analysis on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.